We'll be with you shortly. We're just trying to put Winston together. Okay, kia ora tātou, ko anu te kua, ko anu taku ingoa, no mai, haere mai. I just want to make it clear that this is satire and a little bit of political theatre. No living creature is going to be harmed in this event today, so just satire and a bit of theatre.
He's from the crypt.
Sorry?
He's from the crypt. He's not really alive.
Right, okay. Okay, why are we here? As a migrant and within the migrant communities, we have had a gutsful of the racism that we see in our everyday, day-to-day lives. As you have seen in this past week, in halls of power, an MP gets told to go back where he came from, and that's not the first time that's happened in this country. I'm embarrassed to say that. Particularly one party or more than one political party here. So New Zealand First, they have quite a long history of being openly racist towards migrants from different ethnicities. And what concerns us is that it's other members of parliament that they are openly racist towards. And if that's what they can do to their colleagues in parliament, just imagine what happens in day-to-day life out on the streets of Aotearoa. So like I said, this is not the first time. We've had Shane Jones say the Mexicans should be sent home. We've had Shane Jones say that there'll be butter chicken tsunami coming to New Zealand. And going further back, Winston has many times said things that should not be allowed, and yet our Parliament or the Speaker of the House took no action against Winston this time or on previous occasions. And on the same note, I also want to share with you that that there's different rules for different people here. We saw members of Parliament from TPM, Te Pāti Māori, perform the haka in protest to the treaties bill, and they were given, I think it was a suspension for 10 days, and they've been given such a hard time. Why do we have different rules for MPs from different ethnicities and backgrounds? So that question needs to be put out there to the Speaker of the House, to our Parliament, to politicians and our Prime Minister. They just brush it off by saying, oh, he's just trying to seek attention leading up to this general election. And I'm afraid that's not good enough. There needs to be stronger action. The Prime Minister needs to sack Winston Peters.
Yes.
We'll come to that in a minute, because can we keep our questions to end? Like, we have a plan for this event, so you'll have time to speak with us in the end. When people in powers of position, like cabinet ministers and MPs, take to this kind of open racism, that only emboldens ordinary people, citizens, or people who live in this country. It emboldens them to take to racism, because it normalizes racism. And we see that, we've seen that recently. We see it online every day, that there isn't a post that you don't see racist comments beneath. And we've seen communities targeted. We've seen graffiti in communities where things like, kill all Indians. So, that doesn't happen just overnight or spontaneously. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. When people like Winston and Shane Jones take to racism openly and no one challenges them, that's what happens in the end. It normalizes racism. and it divides the workers. You know, when workers should be coming together to fight the cost of living crisis, to fight the challenges that the working poor have. Instead, what we get is migrants are taking all your jobs, migrants are taking all your houses. The traffic in Auckland is due to more migrants coming in here. So that's what happens, which is totally wrong, and we condemn all of that. The call is for Winston to be sacked. I mean, if he had any decency, he would resign, but obviously I don't think he's going to do that. So he needs to be sacked. So today, like I said, it's satire and a bit of theatre. We will hold, I don't know, it's a hearing? Yeah, I suppose a hearing.
We should have a trial.
Yeah, we'll have a trial here. And I guess, I'll ask for a show of hands. People who think Winston is guilty of racism and xenophobia.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, metaphoric chop. I reiterate that this is satire and metaphoric chop. In the last 24 hours, we've had all sorts of rumors that, this is a threat, and all sorts. Hey, people, this is just satire. And if it was such a concern, we would have had the cops coming around to our houses by now, but they haven't, so it's all good. So right, okay, I guess I'll hand over to the experts to walk Winston to the gallows, to the guillotine.
Number Tino, Chief Executive of the Revolution.
Let's go. As you can see, Winston's holding his favorite poison, so that's probably why he can't hold it together and his head keeps falling off. Or maybe he's asleep, because that's what I see many a time in Parliament question time. Winston's having a nap. And then he suddenly wakes up and doesn't know what the conversation was or the debate was, so just launches into a racist tirade, regardless of what the question was. Okay, here we go. People, get ready.
Blood on your hand.
He's also a Zionist, a friend of Israel.
Blood on your hand. Blood.
I don't need to tell you all, because we're all here every weekend supporting Palestine, so yeah. Are we doing countdown? Okay, here we go. Join me in a countdown, please. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chop! Right. Okay. So, yeah, loud and clear. That's our message. Christopher Luxon, sack Winston Peters. Yeah, the public has decided, the people have decided. So now it's for the Prime Minister to act upon this. There is no place for racism or xenophobia on this beautiful whenua, in this beautiful country called Aotearoa. Tangata whenua who were colonized have suffered enough in the past. We don't need this kind of rhetoric to continue and live in this country. Yeah, there goes Winston.
Yeah,
there goes Winston. Thank you all. What I would like to do is invite, I guess any of you who would like to say something against racism. I'm not inviting supporters of Winston, so if anyone says anything, that they will be shut down, because this rally is about anti-racism and about challenging people like Winston Peters, Shane Jones and New Zealand First. And I also want to acknowledge another kind of racism. We have an ACT Party MP of Indian origin, Dr. Paramjit Parmar, who is openly racist towards Maori.
Shame!
When Tabadi Maori performed that haka that they were then suspended for 10 days. She went and I think she's in the disciplinary committee or whatever it's called in Parliament. She put forward that could imprisonment be considered to deal with the behaviour of those MPs. I mean, she forgets that it is the Te Tiriti that allows her to live in this country and to be an MP in this Parliament. So I also want to raise that kind of racism that we see from MPs who are tauiwi and they forget what allows them to be here. So yeah, shame on MPs like Paramjit Parmar. Okay, I am going to hand the mic over to Joe Colan. You want to say a few words? And also anyone else who wants to share how they felt about this People's Court and People's Judgment today. It would be good to hear from you. Thanks.
Sure, everybody, and thanks to the Migrant Workers Association for the first ever public execution. Of course, we are against the death penalty. Unlike the ruling class, who are killing people every week in Iran, in Gaza, in Yemen, etc. So we stand with those who are resisting imperialist war. And along with war comes racism. Along comes the fear of the other, Islamophobia, and hatred of migrants. And New Zealand is a migrant nation. I'm a migrant myself. I'm from Ireland. I've lived here 26 years. I'm Tangata Tiriti. I love this country. I brought my skills, your education and stuff like many migrants have. This is a migrant city. Over 50% of the people living in this city were born elsewhere. I'm lucky enough to be in love with an Aucklander, but they're a minority in their own city, and we have one of the most peaceful, multicultural cities in the world, don't we?
Yeah.
Why do we want to destroy that peace and joy that we have with the likes of Winston Peters and Shane Jones selling their hatred? We don't want to see what happened in one of the cities in my country, in Belfast, last month, where black people, Muslim people, migrants were hunted street by street and burned out of their houses by racists and Nazis. And unfortunately, this is the kind of politics that's rising with the likes of Trump in power in America. Now Shane Jones and Winston Peters think that there's no such thing as working class manners anymore in New Zealand. Well, we've got a message for him. Wash your drunken alcoholic mouth out, you racist pig. That's what you are. And you want to challenge me in court, I'll see you there, Winston, right? He's a bully, he's a dinosaur, he's a sexist, he's a racist, and he deserves to get the chop. Metaphorically, that is. If Christopher Luxon had a spine, he would have sacked this guy because he's a racist. In which other workplace in New Zealand would you get away with insulting your workmates because of their background? Nowhere, am I right?
Yeah.
In what school would a child get away with racially taunting somebody else? You would not get away with that. But this drunken fool thinks that he can go to work and drink alcohol and get drunk and then make racist comments about his co-workers. It is disgusting that he did not lose his job yesterday, and I believe it's going to damage the right wing and they're going to lose the election over this pig. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. I guess, some of us maybe are not old enough to remember this. Winston has been sacked previously, way back. Just to remind us of history and that it can be done again. We have Neil with us from PSNA. PSNA have told you many a time what Winston stands for. He's a Zionist and he's friends with Israel. But yeah, a little bit of history now of how he has been sacked before, but so it can be done again. Thanks. Over to Neil.
So there's two things: spines, or lack of them, and Zionism. Just a reminder, Winston has been sacked twice. Twice by a National Party Prime Minister. Jim Bolger sacked him back in 1991. Jenny Shipley sacked him in 1998. Peters was the Deputy Prime Minister, not just the Foreign Affairs Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, and these two Prime Ministers had the guts to sack him. But our dearly beloved Mr. Luxon does not have that spine. Okay, so one down. The other thing we need to talk about is dear Winston and his love of Zionism.
Shame!
Do we all know that Winston has been in Parliament for 41 years? Throw the 3 terms when they didn't get back in, 42 years, 51 years in all, he has been crawling into being the longest term beneficiary of the New Zealand public.
Time to go, Winston!
And all that time, you think of the briefings that he's been given about Israeli apartheid and genocide. It is not something that came up in the last couple of years. He has known, he will know, that Israel has been committing apartheid and genocide for many, many, many decades. So what does he do? Minister of Foreign Affairs, 3 times in 3 governments, coming up to 9 years. And what can he say about Israeli apartheid and genocide? Nothing. The man is a Zionist, he is a racist, and the thing that we need to do, November, give him the chop. So we call on you, the key thing is to get everybody enrolled to vote, and then in November vote. Okay, kia ora.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks Neil. Very timely reminder. Yeah, please remember to enroll to vote if you haven't, and remember to cast your vote, and let's get this anti-worker government out. Yeah, we don't need them for more than 1 term. So yeah, please exercise your voting rights wisely. I also want to send a message out to our migrant communities who have recently become residents. Some of them, I think, don't realize that they can vote. A lot of them think that they have to be a New Zealand citizen to vote, but residents, permanent residents, have the right to vote. So yeah, a message to the migrant communities as well: make sure you enroll to vote, and make sure you go and vote on the day, or whatever the mechanisms are these days. A lot of stuff happens by postal votes and stuff like that. So yeah, please make sure you vote. And yeah, a special message to around, I think it's 265,000 migrants who became residents as a result of the one-off resident visa that was introduced in 2021. Labour and Greens were in power then, and it was that special one-off visa was won as a result of a long-fought campaign by Migrant Workers Association, by unions like Unite Union, First Union. So yeah, please remember when you vote, especially those 265,000 people, remember how you have become residents, and you can help the more recently arrived migrants to become residents as well by casting your votes wisely. Yeah, so kind of feels a bit like an anticlimax now that we've done this. Yeah, and yeah, next weekend. the Stop Wars rally. It's at Aotea Square. Is it 12 or 2 p.m.? What time? 2 p.m. Okay, so yeah, next Saturday, 2 p.m. at Aotea Square for Stop War rally. We are calling upon all the people of Aotearoa who want to see peace and harmony in the world to join us at 2 p.m. Aotea Square next Saturday. Stop the war on Iran, Lebanon, Palestine, Gaza, and wherever else these illegal wars are happening. They need to be stopped. So we will see you next weekend, and I guess before we finish off, some chants would be good. If anyone wants to take the microphone for chants, please. Yeah, you're welcome.
That will be.
Racist slop. Winston Peters gets the job, all right? No more racist slop!
Peters.
No more racist slop!
Racist Peters get his slop.
No more racist slop!
Racist Peter gets a job.
No more racist slop!
Peters.
Kia ora. Thank you all. Stay safe, stay strong, and there's, like I said in the beginning, this point of why would you demonstrate an execution in this event keeps getting raised. So satire, a little bit of comedy and street theatre, political theatre, and as we had said, like no living creature will be hurt in this event, and we've kept to our word. And satire. That's what politics is full of, and no one seems to challenge as much the violence in the words of these racists as much challenge we have had in the last 24 hours. So hey people, I just ask you to take a moment and do that comparison. You know, the violence isn't just in this, there's no violence in this, but the words that come out of the mouth of filth, like Winston Peters, Shane Jones and other racists, that's way more violent than this little satirical event we've held today. So thank you very much again. Kia kaha.
All good.
For loading and unloading, there's bollards on that street. So if you back into there, then we don't get tickets when we back up, load and unload.
Sure.
So I'd have no idea what the game is here.
Sure. So I'll tell Anu to do that. Comrade, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Thank you, amazing, that was amazing.
That's all the Joe and Joe creation.
Well, he decided on Friday morning to do it on
Thank you for asking if I wanted to.
No, it's all good.
You must have sensed, because I was actually thinking about it, but I didn't kind of.
Next
I
time.
will.
Next time. Next week.
Because it's simple.
Next week.
So we're going to make a Lego truck.
Thanks, bud.
And some
No worries.
a few things. And the good thing is, like, the Lego things are really boxy, so it'll be really easy. But yeah, good practice.
So there is one for the phone, yeah?
Oh, we're going to